Hello, welcome to lesson number 2 here in Mastering Java Volume 4. We're going to continue working with arrays, but we're going to, in this case, use loops to go through the elements of an array. And that's very useful, especially if your array is large. I mean, if you have 2 or 3 elements of an array, it's not a big deal just to access them individually. But if you have 1,000 elements of an array or 5,000 elements of an array, you're probably going to go build a loop of some kind to go index and rip through that array and find whatever it is you're trying to find. So let me show you sort of how to do that. If I wanted to create an array, let's say it's going to hold decimal information, it would be doubles. Let's say that it's going to hold the grades of a class. And let's say I have a small class for the purposes of this discussion here. So I would have double, and I'll call it grades. And the brackets tell Java that this is an array. And on the right-hand side, I will specify the grades here in the beginning, just for some variety. I'll type the grades in. So let's say the grades 96.5, 98.7, 99.3, 88.4, 88.6, and let's just say 90.1, something like that. Just a few elements. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. That means this is element 0, this is element 5. So element 0, element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how we're going to index it here. We can see we don't have any errors or anything. So we'll assume that this array is properly created, assign these values in memory, and so on. So what if I wanted to print these to the screen? I mean, we have done this many times before, and in those cases we put separate print statements. Well, that's kind of cumbersome. What we want to basically do is let's just print those to the screen using a loop. So let's go ahead and create a loop variable. Typically, we'll need a loop variable of some kind, so we'll call it I. And let's create a loop to rip through these guys, and we'll say I is equal to 0. The reason we're setting it equal to 0 is because the first element of all these arrays is going to be 0. And we'll put a semicolon, and then we'll say that I is less than or equal to 5. Because we said this is element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the index will be 5 here for the 6th element at the end. So we're going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but after that we'll stop. And then we'll say I++. And then we'll come down here and open our loop. So now we have a loop that's going to index through every single element of our array, and it's going to stop. It's going to start and stop at the beginning and the end of our array. Now what we want to do is print out the grades to the screen. So we could just literally just say something like grades bracket I, right? We could literally do something like that. Of course, we need to print it, so we could go system.out.println, something like this. And inside of the print statement, we can just simply put the grades. We take the semicolon out. And what this is basically going to do is literally print a list of grades. So these are the grades that we have. Notice the first one here is the first one in the array, and the last one is the last one in the array. Now, if we wanted to be a little bit more clever, I could say grade number, and then I'll put a plus, and I'll just put my loop index I, and put another plus, and then open another quotation, is, we'll put a space on both sides of is, and then close my quotation, and then put another plus here. So basically it's making it more like a sentence. Grade number blah blah is blah blah. So let me go ahead and save this guy and run this. Grade number 0 is 96.5, grade number 1, and so on. The only thing that's a little weird about this is grade, it's always counting from 0, but this is exactly how your array is organized. So for the purpose of checking what's in the array, this is perfect. I can see that element 2 is 99.3 and so on. So this is a great way to use a loop to rip through and try to figure out what's in your array. Now, this is for printing things to the screen. You can just as easily use a loop to store lots and lots of values into an array, especially if you have some kind of numeric data. So let's create another array down here. Let's call this integer, and then we'll just call this numbers. This array is called numbers, and then we'll open a bracket. In this case, we're not going to put the values initially into the array. We're going to instead say new int bracket, and we'll call it 10 elements of that array. And then we'll drop a semicolon. So here we have a new array called numbers holding integers, and we have 10 elements there. Now, right now they're just padded with zeros. Let's go ahead and create a for loop to store values. I can use into the array. I can use the same loop variable because the loop variable we're finished once this loop executes. So I can reuse the same variable. In this case, I'll say it's equal to 0. I is less than or equal to 9 because the array is going from 0 to 9 for 10 elements. And then I could say I plus plus like this, open a curly brace like that. Now let's say I want to store, it depends on what you're trying to store obviously, but if you're storing some kind of numeric value, something like that, maybe what you want to say is that numbers bracket I, so the ith element as you loop through is equal to whatever I is plus 10. This is just an example. It's just to show you how you could do this. So for as you get to element 0, you're going to add 10 to it, and you're going to store that in element 0. When you get to element 1, you'll add 10 to it, and then you'll put that in element number 1, and so on. And so I can go and get another for loop down here to print everything out. For I is equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 9, I plus plus. I can go here, open a curly brace, and here I'll just print these elements out. System .out.println. And inside here, I could simply, just to make it easy, I'll just put numbers bracket 0. So here what I'm going to do is pull the individual elements, element 1, element 0, element 1, element 2. I'll put an I there. So as we loop through it, the loop variable goes from 0 to 9, so we're just printing those elements to the screen. So let me go ahead and save that and run it, and what we're going to get is, you can see, first we have the first grades that we printed for the 5 element grades that we have, and then underneath it, we're printing out the values 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way up to 19, because my array has 10 elements. That means element 0 to element 9, and for every element, all I'm doing is adding 10 to it, sticking it in there, and so that's why this prints out. So the bottom line is you can use loops to either just access the elements of the array for the purpose of printing or arithmetic or something, or you can use elements like this in a loop environment to store information into your array. It just depends on what you're actually using it for. Now, another thing that's very, very useful is to do comparisons to maybe try to pull information out of an array. Now, let me clean this up a little bit to show you what I mean. We've demonstrated this, so I don't need these second loops here. I'll take this out, and I don't need this numbers array anymore. I've already demonstrated what I wanted to for that. So let me save it, and I'll go ahead and run it to show you that now we're left with exactly what we started with. All right, and I can take out this for loop here. At this point, all I have is an array called grades with my values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values stored in there. But maybe I have a database of 100 students or something, and what I would like to do is quickly build a program to go rip through every element of my array and tell me who had the highest grade, or maybe what the highest grade was. Now I can see from here that the highest grade in the list is 99.3. I can see that, but if I had 500 students, it wouldn't be easy to do that. So let's go ahead and create a quick loop to go figure that out. Now once we land on the highest value, we want to create a variable to hold that. So we'll call max. That's the max grade that we have. Right now, it doesn't really have anything in it. We'll fix that in a minute down below. So what we want to first do, there's many, many ways to do this. So the way I'm doing it is not the way you have to do it. But one way to do it is before you go through your loop, you assign the max value equal to the first element of your data. You have to start somewhere. So you give it kind of a seed like this and you say, okay, I'm going to assume the max value is just the first element of the array. Even though we know that that's not true, you have to give it something to start with. And then under that, let's go ahead and create a loop. I is equal to 0. I is less than or equal to 5 because there's 5 elements in this array. And then I plus plus. All right, and then I'll go ahead and drop this guy in here. So what we want to do is for every single element of the array, we want to check and see if the new element that we're running up upon is bigger than our current maximum. Right now, our current maximum is just set to the first guy. So let's go ahead and check that out. And let's say if, inside here, let's say if grades bracket 0 is greater than my max value, right? Then I want to do something. Only in the case that whenever I come upon a new, not 0, we want an I there. So as we rip through the loop, for the ith element of grades, if it's greater than my max value, then I want to say that the max value is now equal to grades I, like this. So you see what's happening here. First, we say that the max value is just equal to the initial element, the first element. Then we create a loop to go through each one of these elements. And as we go through the elements, in turn, we're checking to see if the new element that we're checking is bigger than our current maximum. If it is bigger, then we set the new maximum equal to the one to the element that we just checked, the one that we just compared. All right, obviously, if it's less than the current maximum, nothing's going to happen because this if only executes if the one that you're checking is bigger. So as you get to a larger value, the maximum is going to be changed to reflect that. And the next time it goes through, the new comparison will be with the new max value. All right, so then I can go underneath this loop. I can go system.out.println. So that loop is going to loop through every element we have. The max, let me go ahead and put in quotations, the max grade in the class is, and then over here I'll put a plus, and then it's the max value. It's whatever the max value is. So let me go ahead and do this guy. Let me go ahead and put a couple of spaces down here, some free lines, and let's see what we have. The max grade in the class is 99.3. All right, is 99.3. And the reason that it did that is because we gave it a seed, we gave it the first guy, and then it ripped through here. Now, if we go over here to the end, let's take this guy off. Let's say this is 99.9. Let's say this guy, the very last guy here, is now the new highest grade in the class because he's just a really sharp guy. Let me go ahead and hit save and hit run, and it's pulling out the new highest value because it's going and in turn checking against whatever the previous high was. If it ever gets to a grade that was higher than that, then we change our new high value to equal that. So that's a great example practically of when you might use an array to loop through data looking for something. Maybe you're building a database of names, and you want people to be able to type in their last name and pull up their account. Well, then you might go through the database looking for either a name or a numeric piece of information, a social security number, phone number, something like that. And you can loop through your database doing ifs, comparisons, and things like that to pull out the record that you're interested in. And so this is kind of just an introduction to that. So what I want you to do now is go on to the exercises, work the exercise that we have. It's a good one to be able to further build your skills with this. And make sure you just understand that when you have arrays, you can always use loops to index them. And sometimes that's helpful if you have very large arrays in Java.